realistic about what we're doing with land, and putting houses on it, folks, isn't necessarily going to happen. So come up with some alternatives. Lead the way. Don't wait for them to get groups together. Get groups together yourself. I agree with you. It's a wonderful thing. If we can get a few people, I'll help. I'll donate supplies. Let's start boarding up stuff. Let's start cutting stuff. I'll go buy a lawnmower myself personally. So, I mean, that can happen outside of what they're trying to do. But at the same time, I think engaging that group in dialogue and coming up with some alternatives makes a whole lot of sense. And from this, and I think you were trying to steer the conversation that way, talk about what is outside of a house. And I know that's hard to grasp, as it's hard for me to grasp. Outside of housing, what is it that you want to see? Is it a grocery store? And in that grocery store, then if it's not, it's not. What is it that, other than housing on a block, is it that we want to see as this community moves forward?
Well, we done gave them a whole lot of that.
Okay, so I hear. Okay, so what I've heard is that there is a need for youth-related activities and buildings. Okay, that's one thing. Then the last meeting, I also heard someone come up with a fabulous idea about creating a school, and you have a gentleman who's building a school, so the structure will be there in the neighborhood shortly, about doing some types of trade training and getting people ready for new economy kind of jobs. That's an option. But I'm not going to lead this conversation. But what I had hoped when I came back here today was to hear some of you tell us, or tell me, so that I know how to move forward in trying to assist you, of getting some of the things you need to make your community whole. And at the same time, at the last meeting, it ended with, what do you want? And I heard a couple. I want to live here. Fine. Done. Nobody's going to push you out. 2, what do I want? I want a school. Give us what you want and then build it into the plan. You all heard me mention, you heard actually Senator Young mention something called community benefits. Community benefits, and that process is a very powerful process as businesses come back in because of the input of the neighborhood and share and whoever else is going to bring them. As people's, hopefully, where I buy many, many things and have over the years, expands back. What is it that you want to see from that business and development, and build it into the plan, and build it and create a real agreement so that you have a living document of the demands and the requests of this community. If we continue to, it is my fear, and my hope, it is absolutely my fear, as having sat here for now over an hour, that we once again will leave here without listing out some of the things, the wonderful things that you want to see, because we're so heck-bent on holding on to just that one idea that somebody has come in. They told you they don't own nothing. They told you that right now they're not even in the process of trying to own nothing. So somebody, you're right, is this young lady right there? Somebody's buying this property up, but it ain't them. So why don't we figure out? We don't know. And the city and this gentleman told you that he will research each of these issues if you have an issue on a lot. But I don't want you all to leave this meeting again without coming up with some viable things. I heard youth-related building structures program. That's a legitimate thing. So whatever business that they bring in, there's a youth component. Get that. I'm sorry?
I have something to apply.
Okay.
In the community, we have people, I watch the surveyors come through and everything. This has all been since the casinos came in. They're pushing us out for nothing. Now, what I'm trying to figure out, when somebody comes and pushes you out, that means that the property's worth something, right? Does it?
I would assume.
Wait a minute, what are we paying taxes for? What's being taken care of? They're not taking care of it for us right now.
So what is the viable plan for the future to move the neighborhood in a positive direction?
Okay, Ms. Tate. Senator, hold on, wait a minute. First of all, I was there at the last meeting with you, we spoke, and I'm proud. First of all, I want to say to my community, I'm proud for the ones that came out, that came to the meeting, that started to try to form a community and get our community together. Yes. Because first of all, do anything before anything, we must get our community together. If we have no community together and can't stand as one, they will pick us apart and just take it over. So what I'm saying to you, Ms. Stapleton and the rest of them, is we need to start fresh because my community needs to learn what they're trying to do, because some of these things you're saying, Ms. Stapleton, we done already gave that at the very first meeting. We ain't talking about just houses. We went from schools, we went from lighting, we went from recreation, we went from jobs. We went through a whole lot of things. It's just some reason this is the only thing keep coming up. But we gave all of those things. Talked about all the things. We want a whole lot more. Our point that we're saying to you, and I'm saying to everyone else, is they're not talking about the things that we're asking for. They just want to talk about what they want to put in here. And what we're saying is our community want to put what we want in here.
Well, right now, we're here at least a half an hour to talk about exactly that. So,
Yeah, because we more ideas today.
What I wanted to say is, if a lot of the people in the area have the feeling that the properties aren't worth anything.
Why is that?
But wait, let me finish, okay? For 15 years, I had a funeral home down the street on McDougal, and I walked away from it a couple of years ago. When I walked away from it, I thought it wasn't worth anything. But wait, not to sound racist or anything, white investors from Florida bought it up just like that.
Bought it, that's right.
I got a house that's left on McDougal between, it's only one house between Hancock and Forest. I got investors writing me, do I want to sell it? But if it's not worth anything, why do they want it? Now, some of the churches in the area own properties down near, I got a whole block.
That's right.
Down McDougal here. I've been getting letters, do you want to sell? You want to sell this? You want to sell that? But yet still, a lot of the people in the area think that our properties aren't worth anything. But yet still, they did the same thing. I had some property on Alexander Cross Woodward. They came, you can't touch a house over there now for under $300,000, even in this time right now. So, but yet still, these investors came up and bought all these properties and overpriced them so that they can bring other people in instead of the people here. Because see, once that happens, we're going to get pushed out.
That's right.
And we won't have anything at all. And that's my, it's just my pet peeve. Because they're creating something, and a lot of people that don't look at it, they say, oh, the property's not worth anything, so I'm going to move. I could have moved. But I've got some properties, I've got several properties in this area, but I'm getting letters, do I want to sell this? Why? If it's not worth anything.
I believe the conversation we're trying to have tonight is about capturing and accessing the value that is in this part of the city. And that there's an opportunity that all of you are saying to pull together and work together to getting the best out of that value.
So RecoveryPark should just be easy to say, I understand the point of the community. We understand the community's not aware. Let us slow down our plans, let us back. You don't have to throw none of your stuff away. That's true data. But what I'm saying is slow it up, let the community get their stuff together, and let's meet then. That's all we saying. We don't want to miss no great opportunity, but at the same time, it might not be that great if we got to miss it.
So you're making a great point about speed.
I got some things.
I think that even though the conversations have been going on for 18 months, there's not a lot that's been progressed other than brainstorming, as the gentleman said about 45 minutes ago. So in many ways, tonight's conversation